The research findings on the subject of fitness in military women provide insight into the impacts of physiological differences on female physical fitness. These differences do create a gap between males and females in physical ability, but do not inhibit women from meeting a standard of combat readiness. Current research in the integration of women in combat roles reveals several gaps in areas of leadership behavior, operational performance, and physical health and well-being. There is also a cultural stereotype that women are physically incapable to perform to standard, pervading the perceptions of males and females across specialties and leadership levels. In July 2018, the Army unveiled its plan to replace the current 3-event APFT with the more challenging 6-event ACFT. As a gender-neutral assessment, the ACFT raises concerns over gender inequality in the Army. There is limited research on the outcomes, positive and negative, of the current implementation and standards of the Army Combat Fitness Test. We interviewed 6 upperclassmen cadets, 3 males and 3 females, at the United States Military Academy to provide insight into our research question: how does the ACFT affect gender inequality in the Army?
The purpose of the APFT was to assess a soldier's physical fitness to see how well they could do the duties of a soldier.
And what's the purpose of the ACFT?
I'd say to better assess the soldier's physical fitness and readiness to the duties of a soldier.
APFT is more of a test of your lower and upper body endurance, whereas the ACFT is more of a combat readiness fitness test.
Everyone has their own strengths and weaknesses, so to say that a platoon size workout or just like a mass group workout is going to be beneficial for everyone is not really likely, because you could have the person leading it could struggle with deadlifts while a person that's participating in it is struggling with leg tucks, and like it's not really, you're not able to work on both, and if that's what the training was focused on. So I think it would be better that people could have like more autonomy when they're doing these workouts so that they can focus on their weaknesses rather than somebody else's weaknesses.
Do you think military mass fitness training like adequately prepares you for the ACFT, or just physical fitness like in general? So does like essentially like this industrial scale mass PT, you know, like your whole platoon goes out and does the same thing. Do you think that prepares you for doing well in the ACFT?
I think generally the runs are, because the runs usually everyone pushes each other, but with usually on a mass scale, I think everything else is pretty lacking. Like it's hard to get weights and have a real company workout, and I think motivation's really low in the morning, and so when you're doing something in a group, generally it's just like, well, let's just check off the box and like get PT done, throw some push-ups in, and call it a day.
Okay, yeah. So would you say that preparing for the ACFT is really self-reliant?
Yeah.
I would probably start with like a base training plan. Be like, these are the events, these are the movements that are associated with the events, so that you don't just have a soldier going out and like pulling a sled every morning. Be like, these are different types of movements and exercises that translate to doing better on different events. So I'd maybe, I don't know if I'd do a brief, but I'd do like, I would provide some sort of material resource that they could reference for their own training.
The only one I have not maxed ever is the ball throw.
The ball throw.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Ball throw?
I'm short, and the test is for tall people, and if you know physics, tall ball go far. Short ball go not far. Ball go not far with me.
I think for me it's push-ups.
I struggle with the leg tucks, and I'd say the ball throw is also a tricky one for me.
Like the run I did the worst at.
The ball throw.
I think that it kind of definitely demonstrates there's a serious gap between the capabilities of men and women. That said, there are definitely women who can kick ass in the ACFT. I don't know why to say that. But overall, I'd say that it definitely shows that there is a gap in capability.
I think, especially being a female, your physical fitness is definitely like weighed against men, and it's definitely like something that people look at to see if you size up and if you like compare.
So what I do like about the ACFT is that now the guys feel like it's balanced, so I don't have to worry about hearing them say, oh well, that's what you got like on the girls standard. Like it's not like you scored a 300 on the girls standard, not the guys. And so I think that just makes it kind of easier in the realms of like gender equality and like both genders in the Army seeing each other as equals. I think that's one step getting closer to it.
My view of gender equality is not one of equity, I think. We all take the same test, right? So, and it does let the commander know, like, these people don't have as much upper body strength, so I should plan around that.
I think the ACFT is a step in the right direction, but I think there has to be like a different criteria, saying like based on height or something, because I know a couple of my friends who are like 4'5" or something, and they can't deadlift like the max, which is like 340 pounds. It's like impossible. So I think it should, like, they should make a different standard based on like height or like weight or something like that, because yeah, we want to be equal, and that's like the whole point of the ACFT, but like the body like structure of like a male and a female are like different. So
I've heard from both sides. I've heard I personally believe that promotes equality, because I feel like it's inherently unequal to measure people by different standards based on their biological sex. I think that just promotes like playing down to a specific group and playing up to another group. So I think, like, at the end of the day, holding people to the same standard promotes equality. But I've heard plenty of other people say from the other side, like, it's unreasonable to inherently expect, because of biological sex-based differences, for example, women to perform to the quote-unquote same standard that men are on these tests, which I think is it feels common sense, but it also kind of feels like low-hanging fruit. So I tend to question that. I still think that holding people to the same standard promotes equality.